So I know a lot of people sometimes see, you know, essential oil blends that have some type of emotional thing that people use them for emotions or for behavior or, you know, mental stuff. And so it sounds a little, you know, new age and sketchy and stuff. And so I just wanted to share our own family's kind of personal testimony about essential oils and how we've noticed changes in behavior, how they've affected behavior, and how they've affected also our emotions. And so I'm just gonna kind of tell you about 4 instances. So my first emotional experience with an essential oil happened, I probably had my starter kit for about 3 months, and I wanted something that was perfumey. And so I know a lot of people use Joy Blend as perfume. And so I was like, okay, I'll get it. And a lot of people are like, oh, I love it. It smells so great. As soon as I opened the bottle, I hated it. Now, granted, I just had a baby, and either way, I was super exhausted. If I had just had her, then I would have also still had like staples or stitches or something. And we were so glad to have this little baby, actually 2 babies. And so, you know, I wasn't depressed or anything like that, but it's just, you know, you can feel overwhelmed. I always believe that joy is a choice. We put on joy. We choose to put on joy, right? And so I got Joy just for perfume, not for its name, not for it doing anything emotional for me. So when I got it, I opened it. I hated the way it smelled, but I had always heard, if you don't like an oil, just keep using it, because then your mind will change about it, because it has to do with chemistry, how you feel in that moment, what the chemistry is in your body at that moment. It has to do with your olfactory gland and your sense of smell. Stimulates like memories and emotions and things. And so I was like, okay, I knew all this. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use it anyway. So I would get it and I put a little bit behind my ears. Well, one day, you know, I had just been doing a little bit here and there. I didn't do very much, just, you know, to kind of have a little fragrance. But one day I decided, you know what, I'm gonna put a lot on. It was right before church. I don't know what we were doing, but we had to go to church at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I think because I had just had the baby, so I couldn't drive, and my husband was leading worship. So I had to pack up everything for the kids the night before, pack it up, and then we had to be at the church by 7. And I was, you know, in the nursery by myself with the 2 girls and stuck sitting there nursing. So I was just kind of feeling a little overwhelmed, and I had used a lot of this that morning. And it affected me so much that I became physically nauseated to the point that I almost had to throw up, and I had to have somebody take me home. But then after that experience, I got stubborn about it. I was like, no, I recognized I am having an emotional response to this oil, so much so that it is like physically affecting my body, that my body's trying to just release whatever kind of I was feeling. And so I just kept using it. And you know what? I stopped feeling that way. I stopped thinking that it stank, and see, now I think it smells really great. I also had a similar experience with the blend release, not with that feeling of nauseous or anything, but I really did not like it at all. But I kept using it, and by the time I got to the end of the bottle, I loved it. And so that was our first kind of emotional response to an essential oil. The second time we had a really obvious emotional, really actually it wasn't really an emotional response, it was more of a just behavioral response, was to Vetiver. My daughter was potty training, and we had just started, and we were really frustrated. You know, we could get her to the potty before she would poop, but then she would pee her panties, and she would be upset, and I would be upset, and we were just, you know, we were all kind of feeling it. And so I just decided one day, oh, I have that Vetiver, you know what? Let's use it. She and I were both feeling a little stressed about this whole potty training thing. And so I was like, let's use it. And so when I apply oils to my children, if I'm applying oils to them, and we always apply oils with a confession or with a prayer or in faith, you know, anointing them basically. Anytime I apply oils to them, I also apply that same oil to me. One, because I want to know, you know, how it's affecting them. I want to know how it affects me too. And then also, I feel like a lot of times you know, we're adults. We can control our behavior a little more. Most of us can, at least. And so when we're feeling stress or anxiety or whatever, we may not always express it. But our children, it's like they have this spiritual Wi-Fi connection with us as parents. And, you know, a lot of times, and you as a parent probably know this too, a lot of times when you're feeling something, even if you haven't expressed it, it's like your children are like a monitor screen. Like you're the computer and they're the monitor, and whatever you're feeling, they're just displaying it. And so, you know, part of her frustration was my frustration. And so I put Vetiver. I got a little bit of Vetiver and I rubbed it on her forehead and I rubbed it on my forehead. And, you know, I didn't know it was a big difference in me that day, but in her, you know, we had been having tons and tons of accidents. From the time I put it on her mid-morning, the rest of the day, she had no accident. She wore the same panties all day long, dry all day long, took a nap in a diaper, woke up, the diaper was dry, went to bed that night in a diaper, woke up the next morning and the diaper was dry. And so that was the first, like, really, with our children, really dramatic experience that we had with a behavioral, or a kind of a behavioral response to essential oils. And I don't know about at your house, but at my house, sometimes when the kids wake up from nap time, they can be a little cranky, you know? And so I decided, they went to sleep, and so I decided to start diffusing this Harmony blend before they woke up, and just to kind of, you know, see how they, if it affected our day in any way. So they got up, they had their, you know, their milk and their snack, and then they went to play. And it was probably about an hour later, I was cooking dinner and I noticed everything was calm. Nobody was cranky, nobody was fussing. And not just that, but when I went to check on them, instead of playing separately or fussing at each other, they were playing together in just this perfect unison. I didn't put the oils on them at all. I just was diffusing it in the air. And they were just, I had never seen them play together like that before. It's like they were tending to one another and looking for each other's needs and just purposing to play together. And then the last oil that I want to talk about is Stress Away. Now, we've had two kind of experiences with this. I personally just like the way that it smells. I ordered the roll-on for my husband to try to get him to keep it with him, because he has in the past dealt with lots of anxiety that would make him physically ill. And so, but he had mostly gotten over that, but every now and then it's like it would creep back up. And so I got this Stress Away. I was like, you need to keep this with you and just use it every day whenever you just think about it. If you think about it, use it. One day he was about to go into this really stressful situation, and he had this Stress Away roll-on bottle. I don't have the roll-on bottle with me, but I have this 15 ml. And he got it out and he said, I just rubbed it all over my body. And then he said, and then I just put a whole bunch of it in my hands. He said, I rubbed it together and I just inhaled it and inhaled it just as deeply and as long as I could. So he said it was a stressful situation, but whenever I went in, I felt so calm and so at peace. And he said it was like a miracle. Like, I've never felt in a situation like that. I would have been going to the bathroom to throw up. I would have been so stressed, but I was just so calm and just so at peace. And of course he, you know, is applying these oils also with prayer. And then the second thing that we've noticed, you know, we've used Peace and Calming before on our girls, and they did seem to be calmer. But for my oldest, Jovi, she responds amazingly. It's just unbelievable how she responds to Stress Away. And she even asks for it. She'll ask for any oil that's in a green bottle. And so sometimes that green bottle might be peppermint, but she thinks it's either Stress Away or Peace and Calming. Just the other day, it was getting close to nap time, and she was really cranky and fussy and just like fighting me to get ready to take a nap. And so I was like, you know what? Let's give ourselves a big hug and take a breath and let's calm down. And she was like, you know. And so I got out the Stress Away. I said, you know, let's put some oil on. And then she's like, anytime that she's cranky, she does not want oil on her. If she's happy and joyful or whatever, she's like, I want oil, give me oil. But when she's cranky, she's like, nope, I don't want that stuff. I know that stuff's gonna make me happy. I don't want it. So anyway, so I got the Stress Away out and I put it on her wrist and rubbed it on her wrist, and you know, got a little and went like that to her nose. And what do you know, within like just a few minutes, her total demeanor just absolutely changed. My kids, a lot of times when they're getting ready for naps, they'll sit in my bed and they'll drink their milk right before nap time, and they'll kind of cuddle up, and then after they drink their milk, they'll go get in the bed and go to sleep. Well, a lot of times when they're doing that, they do not want to touch each other. Jovi doesn't want Gabby to touch her, and Gabby doesn't want Jovi to touch her. They just, don't touch me, I'm having my milk, don't touch me. And so I'm about to show you a video of them cuddling during this time, which they don't do. They usually do not want to touch each other. And I don't even know if I had put Stress Away on Gabby at this point, but I had put it on Jovi, and usually, like I said, she's cranky, doesn't want to be touched before a nap, and wants to have her milk and be left alone. But she was just like petting her sister and cuddling her. And I've often noticed sometimes when we use Stress Away that the way she speaks will change too. She'll go from being cranky and be like, no, no, to suddenly she starts speaking very, I don't know, it's just kind of odd. She'll start saying, Mama, I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And she'll say, it's okay. And then she'll say, Mama, God loves everyone. God made everything. And then she'll say, and wonderful blessings, and just like things like that. Of course, she's like 2.5, so you know, her sentences don't always make sense, but it's just very like speaking like blessings and being very calm and loving and petting us. Like she'll just pet my face and want to hug me and touch me, and which is not always her personality. And she'll also she'll compliment us, and she'll go to her sister and she'll say, Gabby, you are just beautifully, wonderfully made. I love you. And she'll just pet her and she'll say, I love you. You're so sweet. And these types of behaviors we notice when we use something like Peace and Calming, but mostly with Stress Away. And it's just amazing that her just demeanor changes so much just from me getting a drop of oil and putting it on her wrist and letting her smell it. So that's our experience to this point with essential oils and their effects on emotions and behavior. I need to work on this whole ending videos in a graceful way kind of thing. But anywho, if you have any questions or testimonials or whatever, you want to leave those in the comment box below, feel free. Also, if you're interested in getting your own essential oils, there is a link in the description box, and it's going to take you to a sign up page for Young Living wholesale membership. With those memberships, you'll be able to buy essential oils and other nutritional products at wholesale price. However, there is no monthly obligation to order. Membership starter kits start as low as $40 and go up to $160. If you buy any of the starter kits labeled premium using the link in the description box, my team and I are going to send you this essential oils pocket reference. It's a little handy dandy guide to have around whenever ailments hit, or just because you want to be smart and learn something. The kit that we recommend the most, and is probably our favorite, would have to be the premium starter kit that contains the everyday essential oils. When you get that kit, you're going to end up with 11 essential oils. It's a great way to start, kind of try a bunch of stuff out all at once. You're also going to get a diffuser, roller fitment, and membership materials. Hey, you haven't had enough? Well, here's another video, essential oil convenience tips. Oh, so you like what you see? Go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Hey, maybe even click the subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos from Awaken Eden, and have a great day. Bye.